my dear Shire folk. Today, a wizard friend brought me a very special book that is called The Hobbit. So sit back, relax, grab a pipe, and, well, no, don't do that. Just drink a mate instead. Oh, much better. Well, let's begin. Our story begins in the Shire, where Mr. Bilbo Baggins is chilling outside his home. Suddenly, boom! A wizard appears. Now, who is Bilbo? I tried to draw it, but I will use the Bilbo from Smiling Friends. Good enough. Then we meet Gandalf the Grey, who will be presented as my English teacher. He invites Bilbo on an adventure. Bilbo, being a respectable hobbit, says, "No thanks, please leave," but accidentally still invites him for tea. British manners. Can't help it. Night falls and Bilbo forgets he invited anyone. But suddenly, the doorbell rings. Ding dong! One dwarf shows up, then another, and Bilbo's house turns into a Black Friday sale. 13 dwarfs arrive. And since they are just 7, I will fill the rest with my favorite Hollywood dwarfs. They all come in like they own the place. Dwelling at service, budding at service. Philly, Keely, Ori, Nori, Dory. It's like Pokemon, but with beards. They eat everything and pay for nothing. Hospitality, I guess? Finally, the last one arrives. Thorin Oakshield, the Hare. Give him a tiny crown. He explains the mission. Reclaim their home and treasure stolen by a giant, greedy dragon named Smaug. Why does a dragon want a treasure? I don't know, maybe he's half Spanish? Bilbo finally accepts the adventure, and immediately they walk straight into 3 huge, hungry trolls, who grab the dwarves and start planning dwarf barbecue. Gandalf steps in, but not dramatically. He throws his voice, imitating the trolls, to make them argue with each other like people on X. They argue until the sun hits them and BAM! They turn into stone. And Bilbo basically loots the bodies and finds a tiny sword that basically is like a 500 for him. Well, not that, but yeah, it is like a great sword for him. And mission 1 complete. The adventure continues to Rivendell. They meet Enroll, a translator and an old homie of Gandalf, and he explains the magic runes on the map that they have to get into the castle. Reference to my future linguistic major. Stay in school and learn languages. After the stop, they head into the Misty Mountain. Like my dog, Misty, but not as fluffy. Then they enter a cave to sleep, and surprise! They get trapped by goblins, and after a huge fight, they manage to escape. But Bilbo falls into the dark, landing next to a subterranean lake. There he meets Gollum, and their interaction is basically a rap battle of riddles. But instead of just talking about your mother, if Bilbo wins, Gollum shows him the exit. If Bilbo loses, he is the dinner. High pressure. But when Bilbo fell, he found a golden ring. Give me rule number 1, see a shiny loot, take it. And for his final riddle, Bilbo panics and asks, "What have I got in my pocket?" Gollum doesn't know, and he freaks out. Gollum calls it cheating, but Bilbo wins. He discovers his ring makes him invisible, and uses his stealth build to escape. Quick safety warning. Do not try the "what do I have in my pocket" in Latin America. You will just lose your cell phone and wallet. And mission 2 completed. The squad reunites, but gets ambushed again. This time it's wargs. They are like wolves, but wargs. They climb the trees, and Gandalf decides to literally brawl with them. Se agarra piñas, throwing them pine cones, magic pine cones, that explode like magical grenades. The goblins arrive and light the trees on fire, but suddenly the eagles arrive. Life lesson: it's all about high place contacts. The eagles drop them off at Beorn's, a grumpy skin changer bear. I thought about him as Rexar from Warcraft. Oh, my childhood. Gandalf introduces the dwarf 2 by 2, so Beorn doesn't freak out. Beorn warns them about Mirkwood. Rule number 1, don't leave the path. Rule number 2, don't drink the water. And whenever you get rules, well, yeah, you know what happens. They break the rules. A dwarf falls asleep in the enchanted river, and they leave the path. And there, they get attacked by a spider, who wrapped the dwarves like burritos. Bilbo uses the ring, distracts the spiders, and cuts the dwarves free, naming his sword Stink. Every legendary weapon needs a cool name. They escape the spiders, but immediately get captured by wood elves and thrown into separate cells. Guess who wasn't captured? Bilbo, who uses the ring again. So Bilbo loots the jailer's key and frees the dwarves. But now they need a quick getaway vehicle, and it happens that the elves use barrels for transportation. They're Middle-earth Amazon Prime. Bilbo figures out the new plan. The dwarves will be the new cargo. He loads 13 small, bearded humans and sends them tumbling down the river. And they arrive, soaking, wet, and miserable at Lake Town. Mission 3 completed. But wait! Where the heck is Gandalf? He ghosted them before Mirkwood. Like, I have stuff to do, TTYL. Classic plot device to remove the most powerful character. Otherwise, it'd have been a wizard did it. So the dwarves arrive in Lake Town and befriend Bart, the leader. And Thorin explains the mission. Take back the gold. And the town sees Thorin as a get-rich-quick scheme. Then they get to the mountain and start looking for the secret door. They reach, they push, they knock, nothing. And there is a small thrush sitting nearby, a bird, just watching and listening to all their complaints. This bird is basically the ultimate source gossip in Middle-earth. Then, by chance, the specific conditions, the sun hitting the stone on Durin's day, are met. It was a very convenient two-factor authentication system. Bilbo sneaks in and finds Smaug sleeping on a gigantic pile of gold. And Bilbo manages to steal one little cup. Just one. And Smaug is so greedy that he knows it's missing and flies out in a disproportionate rage, destroying their supplies. Bilbo returns invisible, talks to Smaug, and discovers the dragon's weak spot, a bald patch in his chest. Smaug, pity, flies straight to destroy Lake Town. And there, Bart is the only one keeping his cool. The little thrush whispers the secret of the weak spot to Bart. Bart aims, fires, and BAM! Hits the critical spot. And Smaug falls out of the sky, crashing into Lake Town. And mission 4 completed. Then Thorin, inside his home, has a serious case of Smaug's syndrome. Obsessed with the Anchor Stone, his most prized jewel. That is basically like the opal from Uncut Gems. Nice movie. Bilbo finds the stone and realizes that Thorin is basically losing it, and he commits a diplomatic crime, sneaks out and hands the Anchorstone to Bart. Thorin is furious and gives Bilbo the silent treatment, like an ex-girlfriend. Suddenly, Gandalf arrives. He was in a side quest fighting the Necromancer. He was just clearing the map. And he backs Bilbo. The Anchorstone is Bilbo's burglar share. But, and just as the three armies fight over for the gold...
Yeah, I forgot to say that there were three armies. The humans with Bart, the elves that went there because they are greedy, and also Thorin called his cousins because, yeah, he doesn't want to share his gold.
The wargs and goblins show up, and the battle of the five armies starts. But we can't see it. Bilbo is hit by literally a rock and misses the entire climax. He wakes up. They won, but Thorin is mortally wounded. Thorin apologizes for his greed and passes away. Peace is made, gold is shared, and Gandalf cleared the map for the return trip. And they finally arrive back to the Shire, and Bilbo's neighbors thought he was dead and were auctioning for his belongings. But at the end, Bilbo recovers his things and settles down. He is wealthy, respected by his friends, and incredibly experienced. He has plenty of stories to tell. The neighbors don't believe him, but his contacts that visit him affirm every tale. And what about that small golden ring? Well, that's another story. And that, my friends, is the story of the Hobbit. And before I pretend I'm someone who reads regularly, let me tell you why I even picked this book at the first place. The Hobbit was actually the first book I ever chose for myself. Like, genuinely chosen. Every other book I touched before came from school assignments. I always liked stories, but books weren't really my thing. So when I decided that I wanted to grow a little in their literary department, I started to look for recommendations from people I admired. And that's when Dross showed up on my YouTube feed like a dark wizard with a book list. He recommended Stephen King. Cool! And Lovecraft. Even cooler! My brain immediately connected it with the kaijus I grew up with. But then, Dross said something that stayed with me. The Lord of the Ring might be too heavy for beginners, but the Hobbit is perfect. And my brain was like, okay, noted, that's my starter Pokemon. So I went to El Correo looking for Lovecraft first, but they didn't have any Lovecraft books. And I remember that an old man overheard me and recommended me to go to another place where I could find it. And my attention span immediately deleted that information. Quest failed before it even started. So I went with my second option, The Hobbit. They had it, I bought it, with my own money. And since I was still in school, it felt like a massive investment. I took it home, feeling like Bilbo holding the One Ring for the first time. But reading it, yeah, it was its own mini quest. I have troubles focusing when I read. My eyes jump lines, I get distracted easily, and sometimes my brain reads things that aren't actually there. To make things even more chaotic, the Hobbit movies were coming out. I watched the first two, and I promised myself that I'd finish the book before watching the last movie. Then I saw the Battle of the Five Armies on TV. I hated it, and I abandoned the book again. So fast forward to the present day. I finally sat down and read the book properly. No interruptions this time, and honestly, I really liked it. The book does so many things better than the movies, like the character descriptions. And Bilbo? Man, Bilbo is such a good main character. He got thrown into danger again and again. Spiders, trolls, goblins, unpaid rent, everything. But he just keeps going. And for the first time, I actually relate to him. Because right now, I'm kind of living my own Bilbo moment. I had the chance to leave this country and start a new life in Europe. People keep telling me, this is a once-in-a-life opportunity, which sounds great, but then I realized that the fine print says you have to abandon everything you love in the Shire. So yeah, apparently I'm the Hobbit now. I'm stuck between my comfortable chair, my dog, the people I love, and an adventure that could take me at least 2 years. And that's why I've been thinking a lot whether this journey will be worth it. Every path in front of me feels like a different Middle Earth biome, and I'm just standing there like Bilbo holding the contract. Adventure, safety, comfort, trauma DLC. Anyway, talking about Gandalf, my guy Gandalf is powerful in two things, magic and contacts. He actually reminds me to one of my teachers. Tall, wise, mysterious. I wonder if Tolkien got inspired by the same guy. So he's either a wizard or a vampire. Either possibility is honestly believable. But what really stayed with me was the subtle message about taking opportunities. Bilbo goes through something I'm facing right now. Choices that force us to step out of the comfort zone. If I don't try, the what if question will stay for me forever. This story taught me something important. Life is too short to stay frozen in the Shire. Sometimes an adventure really does knock on the door, and you have to choose whether you're opening it or pretending you didn't hear anything. And right now, I feel like the greatest adventure is knocking for me. Far away, but maybe when I return to my back end, I'll be different, wiser, stronger, with stories to tell and XP gained. Thinking about it that way makes my brain stop panicking about the possible consequences. Some people may say, this is Carpe Diem or YOLO. To me, it's not about recklessness. It's about how hard it is to change your entire life, to flip everything you know, to risk everything you are used to, and walk into the unknown simply because the road is just there. The Hobbit has a beautiful moral. Small people can go on big journeys, and they come back bigger in all the ways that matter. But at the same time, what if my journey is staying here, continuing the path I'm already walking? What if the adventure isn't always across the world, but right where we are? We will never know. Yeah, well, that was everything. So I just want to say thanks farewell, and most important, make the path be kind with you. Thank you so much.